It was a 12th century vision of the world that the world had never seen before. One man's map of everything he knew and had been told of the countries on earth, engraved onto a massive silver disc and here recreated for the first time.
But nobody's done anything on this sort of scale and detail ever before.
The original disc vanished, thought lost at sea, but the maps created by Al-Adrisi survive. The Islamic scholar was commissioned by the ruler of Sicily to map the world, and in 1154 his 69 individual maps were produced.
It's actually got south at the top, so we need to look down like this to try and...
Unlike later maps, Al-Adrisi's have north on the bottom, but historian Jerry Broughton says his accounts drawn from personal travels and scholars before him are astounding.
Right down here is England, and it's extraordinary because actually that also shows Scotland.
That's Scotland.
Yeah, and this little claw down here would be Cornwall. This is Ireland. And then if you look up, you start to make sense of what you're seeing, because it's really Europe upside down. This would be France, and this is North Africa, the islands down here, the Canary Islands. And he probably ends, the westernmost point is Korea. But that's extraordinary, 12th century, and they have some notion of Korea right back to Ireland and England.
Using Al-Adrisi's drawn maps and the latest digital technology, an international art team has now made a new silver disc of the world, due to go on display later this week. The level of detail on this silver disc is absolutely extraordinary. You can see all of the Arabic place names that Al-Adrisi had engraved. And yet, as you look further up to what would have been south of the equator for Al-Adrisi, there is nothing there, and that represents lands yet to be discovered.
What do we think Idrisi would think if he were here and knew that all those hundreds of years after he creates first his maps and then this object of wonder, the same thing is there for people to come and just be delighted by?
Al-Adrisi's maps were followed for hundreds of years. Now they're set to enlighten audiences again.